There's been a new WNBA trade. The New York Liberty have traded for Natasha Cloud from the Connecticut Sun. In return, Connecticut gets the number 7 pick in this year's draft and a 2026 first-round pick. Last season, Cloud played for Phoenix, but she spent her first 8 years with the Washington Mystics. She's a former champion and has been named to the All-Defensive Team 3 times. She's known as one of the best guard defenders in the league. Cloud will be 33 years old in the 2025 season. Some people think New York gave up too much for a player who isn't an all-star, especially since it's for 2 first-round picks. But I disagree. The second pick isn't really a true first-rounder. It's likely to be around the 14th or 15th pick because New York is expected to be a top team again. Also, with 2 new teams joining the league next year, that pick will drop even lower. And honestly, I don't think the 2026 draft class is that strong, especially in the 10 to 15 pick range. I actually prefer the depth in 2025. So in the end, it seems like fair value on both sides. It's not like either team is winning or losing this deal. Cloud may not be a star, but she adds real value. She fits well in New York. She'll likely start in the backcourt with Sabrina Ionescu, with Betnijah Laney Hamilton at the 3, Brianna Stewart at the 4, and Jonquel Jones at center. Coming off the bench, they'll have players like Rebecca Gardner, back from injury, Kennedy Burke, and Yara Sabali as backup center. Maureen Johannes isn't signed yet, but New York still has her rights and might bring her back as a scoring guard next to Sabrina and Cloud. The biggest needs for New York were defense at the point of attack and a backup or second point guard next to Sabrina. They lost Courtney Vandersloot, but Laney Hamilton is still a strong defensive player. In past seasons and even in last year's playoffs, we've seen that Betnijah Laney Hamilton has had ongoing knee issues, including soreness and recurring injuries. So, having extra defensive options like Natasha Cloud will really help New York. It's not even just about big injuries. If Laney has to sit out 1 or 2 games in a playoff series or misses a few games during a road trip, having Cloud there gives the team stability. It also takes pressure off Sabrina Ionescu on defense, since she won't need to guard tough matchups every game. On offense, Cloud fits well with Sabrina too. Sabrina is at her best shooting from deep and running off screens, like staggers, pin downs, or quick pull-ups. She's more effective when she doesn't have the ball all the time. Her shooting ability forces defenses to stretch, which creates a lot more space for teammates to drive. You could even let Brianna Stewart act like the point forward sometimes, with Cloud setting screens for Sabrina. Cloud is strong and can do that kind of work. She's about 5'10", but her wingspan and athleticism let her defend bigger players. And while she's not a great shooter, she's similar to Courtney Vandersloot in that area, and she draws more fouls now than Sloot does. That adds value too. Overall, I really like the fit. Getting a player like Cloud for a mid to late first round pick and basically a second rounder, that 14th or 15th pick in 2026 feels like a fair deal. This Liberty team is stacked. They don't have many weaknesses. They've now got great defense at the point of attack, strong wing defenders like Laney Hamilton and Kayla Thornton, elite scorers in Stewie, Jonquel Jones and Sabrina, and reliable shooting. They even have rim protection from Stewie, JJ, and Yara Sabali off the bench. They have all the tools. And even if Cloud only gives them 1 solid season as a rotation player, if it helps them win a championship, it's totally worth it. If the Liberty win a championship in 2025, then giving up a first-round pick this year and another in 2026 is totally worth it. That's just how it works. Championships are the goal. Now, looking at what this trade means for Connecticut, think it's a fair deal for them too. Getting more draft picks made a lot of sense. They didn't really need Natasha Cloud, and honestly, I don't think Cloud wanted to play there either. After going from Phoenix's state-of-the-art setup to Connecticut's more basic facilities in Uncasville, it would have felt like a huge downgrade. But Connecticut does have some young talent to work with now. They got J.C. Sheldon in the Diaisha Fair trade, plus Layla Lacan, who was their first-rounder last year. Olivia Nelson-Ododa is more of a solid backup than a future star, but she's still just 24 and can develop more. Now they've got back-to-back picks this year at 7 and 8, which gives them flexibility. Add that 2026 first-round pick plus swap rights between their own and Chicago's pick, and that Minnesota pick too. Most likely they'll get Minnesota's pick, which will probably fall in the 12 to 15 range. Along with the pick from New York, they'll have 2 late first-rounders in 2026. That gives them a chance to trade up next year into the top 10 if they want. But really, their big year to land a franchise-changing star is 2027. That's when they'll want to find that future superstar in the draft, assuming the team stays in Connecticut and doesn't move to Boston. That draft will be key for their future. Now, as for this year's draft and who Connecticut could take at picks 7 and 8, it depends who's left. There are 5 players who definitely won't still be there by then, assuming Dominique Malonga declares and wants to play in the WNBA. If she's somehow on the board at 7 or 8, you take her right away. But let's say Paige Buickers, Olivia Cochran, Dom Malonga, Kiki Rice, and Sonia Citron are already gone. That means Connecticut will be able to grab 2 out of these 6, Cheyenne Surency, Tioe Palal, Sika Kone, Aaliyah Edwards, Anissa Morrow, or Georgia Amoore. Amore, Saya, and Fagan could all be options. I could see Connecticut going with a mix of an athletic wing and a post player. Maybe they take Samaya Rivers and Cheyenne Surency, or someone like Anna Morrow and Saya Fagan. They might also go with Georgia Amoore paired with Anna Morrow, or Georgia Amoore with Saya Fagan. Even a Georgia Amoore-Aaliyah Edwards combo is possible, though that might be less likely. Maybe even Rivers and Tahina Paopao. But overall, the main goal for this team should be to draft the best player available, whoever they think has the most potential. That's because they don't really have a strong young core yet. Sure, J.C. Sheldon was a top 5 pick, and Lacan was a first-rounder too, but that shouldn't stop you from picking someone you believe could become a future star, or at least a key starter. It's not guaranteed that Sheldon or Lacan will even stick in a WNBA rotation long-term. I think they will, but we don't know for sure. So take the best player available if you're Connecticut. I do like the direction they're heading now. Their process is starting to make more sense. Even if they don't trade DeWanna Bonner this year, they can core her next offseason and still get value back. If they had kept both Bonner and Cloud, they might have ended up losing one for nothing, and that's just not smart asset management. So it was better to get picks for Cloud now. We'll see if Bonner gets traded at the deadline or stays all year. Either way, this team is not built to be good in 2025. They're not a playoff team, even with Bonner and Tina Charles. If this were prime Tina Charles, sure, maybe. But at this point in her career, it's not realistic. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think New York gave up too much, or was it fair? And what about Connecticut? Do you like how they're planning for the future with all these extra picks? Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. I'll catch you in the next video.